There we go.
Hey, everyone. Time for Geocache Talk. Whether you're at work, in the car, wherever you are, we hope you enjoy the show. Please give it a like and subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Overcast, Radio Public, and Spotify. You can get all the weekly Geocache Talk goodness. Big thanks to the Travel Bugs for the music and our patrons, Demon Hunter 2, Electric Water Boy, Aggie Jedi Master, Antaeus, Joshua, the geocaching vlogger, Nick at Cashly, One Kind Word, Butterfly Girl, Loon Trackers, the Aussie Geocacher, Sodak Zach, the Deadliest Cachers, Terrell 2, Neil Moore, Team D&D, Geocaching Adam, Peachy 1276, the No Code Geocachers, Tick Magnet, Marsipanic, Bricker John, Firesafe, FS Sabero, Geo Rick, Cash Addict Mel, and thank you, Mel, for getting out of the area of South Carolina and getting to California. So you're safe. Thank you very much for that. Geocaching Janji, the Geocaching Junkie, Sir Drumalot, Janice, Tricashius, Tom Frey, Rugels, EGK, PBR, Casamaya, Master Sergeant, USMC, Little Gears, Albedo 0.39, It's Only Barney, Purple Turtles 3, ACDC Family, None of It Tidy, AFK Geocaching, Josh Boggs, I think he was in the path as well, but he's safe. Carrot Killer, Korsgat, Geocaching with Lampe, Bryn Tim 07, Dave and Karen of Cache Kanda, Team Tailwagger, Black Chrome, Super Nate, The Twonky, Burnt Turtles, Padib, Kazelli, Dragon, Gunter Hunters, Acme Wild Cachers, P0001, ADK Sarah, Eastern Girls, KC, Billy Robson, Fox and the Hound, TX Wolf Totem, K-Blast, Landlocked Pirate Fam, Statuki, Burnsfire, Hockey Zombie, Ship to Shore, A Holly S, Geo Dandrew, Direwolf 821, Deuteronomy 31.8, Sasquatch Lover, and Anje Adamon. Joni was helping me with the French on that.
It might be Ange Demon, but you know.
Thank you very much.
Gary, now you got to say it right. Try it again.
Ange Damon. Ange
It's a good try.
Damon. If you'd like to become a patron, head over to patreon.com/geocache talk for more details. Patrons get X tags, new blackout coins, showing the blackout coin because it's so cool, and other geocaching items during the year, as well as bonus content and invites to special events only for patrons. Support levels start at as little as $3 a month. And speaking of the bonus content, we are going to be doing a bonus show. Is that how we want to?
Sure, we can call it a show.
Bonus show. We're going to do that for the patrons.
No, that'll just be me.
It's going to be a bonus show / rant just for the patrons. We're going to do that soon. All right. Well, let me welcome my co-host, Jesse.
Good evening.
And let's jump right into show 116 because we got a lot to talk about tonight. For September 16th, as we welcome to the show, Joni Douay. Welcome to Geocache Talk.
Thanks for having me.
We're so glad you could make it. And this is going to be fun. We've heard, at least I have heard a lot about Houma, and I pronounced it correctly.
You did it.
Houma.
Houma, Louisiana. Yes,
Houma,
sir.
Louisiana.
Yes.
So it's going to be fun because I think, as I was telling Joni before the show, is that I think we've got a very wide range of people tonight. We've got people who are like, where in the world is Houma, Louisiana? And we're going to have people who are like, oh, I've watched all of Josh's videos and I'm up to speed. I'm ready to go. But we got a wide range. So it's going to be fun tonight to talk about this Geotour. There's a lot of interesting things about this we're going to talk about. We're going to give away not one, we're giving away 2 coins. 2 coins. One live, because we love our live, and we got a lot of people already on. And we have one that we're going to do audio because we love our audio listeners all over the world. So everybody is welcome to try to win that. That'll be coming up later on in the show. Mm-hmm. But we're going to start with a little bit of news. We don't have a lot of news this week, though, so this will go quick. We can jump right into the topic. So Tonight we are releasing Clue 1-2 tonight.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Sometime tonight we're going to be releasing Clue.
Okay. I guess we will.
1-2. So as far as loot, we've got, I always like to talk about all of our loot that we've got. So Joni, this is kind of unique. We've got several hidden around the country, as we talked about. We let you know.
Right.
And inside that stash, wherever it is in the world, as soon as it's found, all of the stuff's going to magically kind of coalesce into that one little spot. But right now, I'm holding all of it. So I've got Sophie Finds a Geocache by Angie, Geocaching G&G. I've got a whole thing here. It's full. It's got one of the Treasure X's in it. I've got, this is a 3D printed puzzle cache, which is kind of cool. It's the kind you got to try to figure out how to see if I can.
Yeah.
It's the, set that down. This is really cool. This was provided to us by Elaine Borman. He's over in London. He's not even available. Well, he could come all the way over here, but he wanted to provide some stuff for the stash. So see, it's one of those kind of, you got to try to figure out how to get the thing open.
That is nifty.
Isn't that cool? So
Very
anyway,
much.
so 3D printed cache. We've got coins. We've got really cool stuff. So anyway, we keep adding more and more stuff to it. So it's great. We keep adding more and more. So anyway, well, there you go. There's the stash. I don't know if we have any new loot tonight. Let me look. I don't think we do this week. We got a lot of cool stuff in there already. Last week we added money.
Money's
We added cold hard cash in it last week, so we're serious now. All clues, of course, are available anytime to find, as well as the first two general clues that we provided. So sometime tonight, 1-2. All right, moving on. You might be a geocacher if this is a promotion. What do you call this?
Another souvenir promotion, I would call it.
Okay. Did you get yours? I got mine just almost by mistake. I found a few caches and boom, I'm done.
I don't think I've even gotten mine yet.
Oh, okay.
So,
wow, I've been
tied up with my brand new job. So
I know.
What do we have till the end of the month for this one?
Yeah, end of the month, and trust me, you do a handful of caches, you're going to be there. So
yeah, I have not gotten it yet. So I will for the end of the month, but it's been kind of busy. So
yeah. So Adrenaline Junkies this month, next month Caching Connoisseur, next month Social Butterfly, after that, and then Trackable Lover. So I'm sure Trackables will be highly used in the December one. So
I'm sure Social Butterfly, I'm sure, is an event, right? Have they already announced what each thing is?
They haven't, but they're in order. So Caching Connoisseur, I wish they would do something for hiders, because if people don't hide them, right, Joni? If you don't hide those caches for the Geotour,
yeah.
How would they do that though?
I don't know, but can they
not? You can't do challenges for hiding either, because they say that people would hide it just to get the,
people find caches just
for worse reasons than that anyway, right?
Right. Right.
There's tons of junk out there, so
exactly.
I don't know how they would make that work, but
somehow.
I'm sure I'll manage at some point to get those souvenirs before it's all over. So
you can ask Brian next week when we have him on about the hiding aspect, I think.
Well,
at least I'm going to ask him.
I sure will.
I'm going to ask him. You got plenty
of bunch of questions. What are you talking about?
Okay. So webcams.
Yeah, we're still holding at 109 domestically, and the international ones are about the same too. So we haven't made any significant losses recently on that. So that's a good thing.
That's good.
Still holding tight with those.
And then this week, I noticed that, was this weekend was for the Cito?
Yeah, it's still going through Thursday or Friday, I think.
Oh, okay. So this whole week. Very cool.
Yeah. So you did get yours?
No, not yet. I got to do some looking around. But I'm glad that
they're to go this weekend, and I just totally got distracted and didn't make it.
That's fine. It happens.
But I went to 12 to 15 this summer. So
yeah, you did
proactively, right? That's
yeah. Should have kept one. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So all right, so
a lot of souvenirs they've got out right now, though. So
they do. All right, so I think that's it for news, right? We're ready to get.
It's a kind of a slow news week, even though they have a couple, souvenir promotions going on. There's, I don't know, maybe it's hidden and we just hadn't heard about it yet. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. I'm sure there was news items, but we try to keep the news very limited. We don't do a lot.
We got more exciting stuff to talk about than the news.
We do. We got to talk tonight about the Houma Geotour, and Joni's with us tonight. We're so glad Joni is with us too. So
glad to be with you guys.
Yeah. So let's start at the beginning. So how in the world did you? Now, were you working? You were working for Houma. You've been working for Houma for a while, right? Well,
I've been. So I've been working with Houma for about going on about 4.5, almost 5 years.
Okay.
So when I first started here, the geocaching baby was actually just born per se.
Okay.
It was actually picked up by our now executive director, Sandra, which a lot of people who have attended events and things like that know Sandra very well. So she kind of started it, and she got the first tour, the first leg of the tour rolling. And since then, since I did jump on board, I was working in tandem with her on that. And then now that she's moved on to be our executive director, geocaching is proudly my baby to grow. And I've been having a blast with it full time now for about a year or two. So it's been a lot of fun. But the beginning was a little like I told you earlier, we kind of had heard about the geocaching, the game itself, and we had heard bits and pieces. And when we originally first started the whole thing, we kind of at first thought it would be something like, a couple people would trickle in here and there, and we'd get a cacher, and it would be exciting because we'd get like a couple a month. And lo and behold, 24 hours before the first leg of the tour launched, we had a group of people waiting at the door on launch morning from Florida and Mississippi and Georgia and Texas. And we were just we were floored. We were like, oh, wow.
What do we do now?
This is how it starts, what happens from here. And since then, it's really, honestly, we have Louisiana's first and only tour here. So since then, it's grown into something pretty substantial for Houma, and we could not be more thankful, and we're having a blast with it. So
yeah, that is so awesome. Yeah. So tonight, we'll go through kind of the whole chronology a little bit, and there's a lot of interesting things that have happened over the time. So let's kind of backtrack a little bit. Let's go back and let's talk a little bit about Houma, because I had first heard of this tour pretty much when it first started, but I didn't really know much about it. And we'll kind of talk about how I think you've had a couple things happen that I think really have kind of helped. But where is Houma, Louisiana?
Where is Houma? Yeah, that's the first question.
Where in the world are you?
We are literally the bottom of the boot, right? So if you are familiar with New Orleans, which most people are, we are about 45 minutes south of the New Orleans International Airport. So we're very, very close. The bottom of our parish, the southernmost tip of our parish, is literally sitting in the Gulf of Mexico. So if you look at the boot, we're right down there. You can't go south of New Orleans, believe it or
not. So you could approach from I-10.
Yeah,
the I-10 major highway.
I-10, and you can get to it from I-10. Highway 90, which is the big main corridor to run. I mean, you can go from one side of the state to the other with that. Very popular. It runs literally right in front of our office. So Highway 90 will bring you straight to us. We actually now have, if you're riding on Highway 90, we actually have a gigantic pair of 7-foot tall white shrimp boots sitting in front of the office. So you you literally can't miss us. You can't miss us.
That's funny.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Cajun Reeboks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
That's what we call them.
Cajun Reeboks.
Cajun Reeboks. You're not a Cajun if you don't got a pair of them. So
that's awesome. Shrimp. What are they? What would you call them other than Cajun
They're
Reeboks?
like they're shrimp boots. It's like a pair of white rubber boots that typically people down here use when you're going oystering or you're on a boat. Just so we are 75% water over here, so you know you need them. Wow. You need them.
Very cool. Not gator proof though. Don't wear them thinking the gators can't.
Not gator proof. Yeah. Luckily, knock on wood, we haven't had to have gator proof shoes yet.
Good, because we talked about this, but I refresh my memory also for the show. But were you born and raised in Louisiana?
Born and raised in South Louisiana.
South Louisiana.
Yeah, no matter, the thing about this place is, you know, it's home, and no matter if you try to leave, you always find a way back. So, born and raised, and I'm still here and raising my kids down here. So
that's awesome.
We're trying the world.
And we have we were talking about beforehand. We do have a lot of French listeners. So if Joni breaks out and starts talking and starts going crazy, she can speak her Cajun, and we'll kind of let her just go. Let her speak her.
Try not to throw everybody off.
Yeah, that's perfect though.
I speak over here. It's kind of funny. They tease me sometimes at work because I'll go in and out of French and English, and sometimes I forget the English word for things. So forgive me if that happens on the show.
Oops.
Perfect. That's okay. So, and Jesse's going to be watching too for any questions we have also in the chat room. So that'll be cool. So, okay. So we're going to go ahead. You're going to say something, Jess?
There is one question already. They're asking for a challenge. Are there any of the caches that are considered below sea level on the tour?
You know, I don't believe we're technically sitting below sea level at some places. So I'm sure there are places that they may be, but I need to check on that. I know for Cache the Bayou, our event that we had last year, we actually did have some that were below sea level.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a good challenge thing. I do have, I don't know, Jesse, if you got any, you probably have some, because when I was in Florida, I didn't have any below sea level, but I got one I think is basically right at like 0. So right at
I've got some below sea level, but they're obviously not from around here. So
no,
we don't have anything below sea level around here.
Actually, the highest one I've ever found is where Jesse's at. So.
Wasn't it mine?
Yeah, it was yours. It's the Earth Cache. You love those Earth Caches.
Oh yeah,
love those Earth Caches. No, I'm kidding. All right, so tonight they do have the best. That's good. You're exactly right. All right, so we're going to come back. We're going to circle back around to a little bit more discussion about Houma, because we want to let people know, if you make the trip, and we want you to make the trip, what all people can do. Not only geocaching, we're going to talk that part now, but we're going to kind of circle back to what if people want to go do something else, or if you want to split up and let the non-geocaching part of your family go one direction and you go another, or whatever. So we'll circle back to that a little later tonight. So that'll be good. In the show notes, we've got links to a couple different things. We've got a link to obviously stuff for Houma events that are coming up. I have a link to the passport, and each Geotour does things a little bit differently, which is good, because I've done, and Susan and I have done several tours now. Jesse, you've done a couple, right? At this point,
I've done a few. I've only completed the one here in Colorado, but I've done some caches on other tours.
Yeah, very cool.
But, some people may not have, so we should probably give a general idea of what
Yeah.
tour is, right? So
Yeah. So I guess let's talk about that. Your Houma Geotour, and what all is needed to complete your Geotour, Joni. So I'll let you take care of that.
All right. So for us, our Geo Tour is one tour comprised of 2 phases. When both phases are up and active, there's about 55 total caches in there, and each phase has its own separate coin. So you could essentially come down and if you complete 2 phases of the same tour, you'll end up getting 2 geocoins. So it's a pretty cool deal. You just need your free geocaching account. With your free geocaching account and your game piece that you can download on the website, that's all you really need to start your tour. Now, right now, I will tell you that we're in a revamp phase right now. I'm actually Geotour phase 1 has been archived, and I am working on getting brand new fresh caches. What happened? We had so many caches come in, and being that we cache ourselves here at the Bureau, we wanted to keep that tour fresh and have new things and new coins. That way it's always exciting and it doesn't become a stagnant thing. So our original phase 1 was archived on July 31st. So we're working on that. So right now you can still do the second phase. And just so you kind of see, on our second phase, what you get for that tour, completing that tour, this is our coins. So you have your coins of silver. I don't know if you can see it. A silver backing.
Yep, that's
or
cool.
a gold backing. Yeah. And then with the little bird houses in the back. And it comes with a trackable coin, so you don't have to get rid of yours.
Yep, little proxy
right
coin.
Now that's so right now that's what's available for that. You have to complete on that leg, you have to complete 20 out of 27, I believe it is, for that one. And then you get your coin. And our tour as a whole really showcases on bringing people to the places that they have to see while they're here. They're very well thought out. They're in beautiful places. You're going on bayou sides. You're going in cypress swamps. You're going to gator farms. You're going to some really, really unique places.
Cool.
So and so I promise you guys, the revamp for phase 1 is going to be just as well done, just as good scenery, and really pretty cool coins. So
cool. I heard you're gonna have to wrestle a gator to get the coin in phase 1.
Yep.
I'm trying real hard, but practicing with the gators, it's been a little rough. So you have to make sure they're ready for that.
That's right.
It's in the bison tube doesn't want to stay on their tail as well, so it's kind of difficult to keep that.
And I've learned they don't really like you digging it out their mouth, so
right, not as fun.
Any idea when phase 1 will be back up and active?
Yes. Phase 1 right now, it's more than likely going to be late winter of this year or very early before Mardi Gras next year of 2019. So it's in the next couple of months. Yeah. We're working on it. Yeah.
Very cool.
Now, does your tour do do you have a point system or because I think I saw on the passport, or did you guys do, or are you still doing, you have stickers or how?
Well, phase 1 was our learning curve. Phase 1, we did do stickers, but we've learned that stickers sometimes, in hot, humid weather, like we have here in South Louisiana, that adhesives are not exactly our best friend. So we are actually going to go, if you've ever done the tour, we're actually going with something more similar to phase 2. We're going to do solving for a word or a code. So,
cool.
Good idea. That's what those blanks are for. Yeah. Right now on phase 2, you're solving for words. Most of those are either going to be French or local slang that you're solving for. And the revamp phase 1 is going to be similar to that.
Cool.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. I wasn't sure if I've seen some tours where if you stay locally, you get a few points, or if you eat locally, you get some points, and then you have to have so many points. So, I mean, that's a different way to do it, but that's,
right. We just ask that you go to the caches. When you come over here, eating here's a given. You can't come to South Louisiana. I've yet to meet a geocacher who comes here and hasn't like chowed down on a few po' boys and bowls of gumbo. So.
Oh yeah, you can't go through Louisiana without eating good food.
No, we eat too well here.
Definitely agree. So good.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that too. A little bit. We're gonna get some good ideas from Joni tonight. So
you're gonna need to put me on show 117 if we're gonna talk about food. It's gonna go on forever.
I know, that's okay. 116A, 116B.
Still talking about food.
Yeah, we're still we're still on. It's midnight, and we're still talking on this podcast. We can only go 8 hours, by the way, Joni. Just letting you know. 8 hours is the maximum.
I'll try to wrap it up.
Okay, you try to wrap up for that. Although we are doing, we're going to talk about that more next week. We are going to talk about each year we do a podcast of hope, which is very cool. We're going to do that again. We'll talk about details next week, but we literally do an 8 hour podcast. Jesse and I will sit here for 8 straight hours and do
a fundraiser podcast for St. Jude. Awesome. So yeah,
very cool.
Nice.
But but not tonight. Won't go that long tonight. But we do have more. We're going to talk about sports stuff.
Probably not.
So the phase one. This is kind of a fascinating thing that I think, and you have to kind of give us the details because I'm dying to know. So I was talking one day with my friend Joshua Johnson, the geocaching vlogger. He goes, "Hey, I'm going to Houma." I go, "I've heard of Houma. I know there's a Geotour there. So I guess you're going for just to kind of check it out." And he goes, "Well, I'm gonna do that. Of course, I got a video." And of course, did he ever video? He did lots of videos. So how did that whole thing? Because he also listens all the time. I don't know if he's in the chat. But he'll be listening. He likes to listen later on in the week because he likes to keep the show. A lot of people like to keep it for the week. But how did that whole deal happen with Joshua?
So when we put out this tour, we were looking for the right person to come down here to really relay to people what this tour is about and do it in a fun way and show how unique things are. And I mean, I don't think it takes much. You look at one of Josh's videos and it's like, he's wonderful. Like you feel his excitement, you know what I mean? So it was a really easy choice with us for him because, his energy and how passionate he is about caching. He was a perfect fit for us, especially because, we are a little quirky. So, we're a little quirky over here. So we were looking for someone really interesting like that. And when Josh came, and seeing him enjoy our tour through a whole different set of eyes was just amazing because if you've ever watched the videos, he literally, I laugh every time. Mm-hmm. So in our southern part of the parish in a little town called Cocodrie, it's literally, for those of you who have never been here, we are a very, very large in size. We're the second largest parish in the whole state. However, we're 75% water. So the inhabitable land is very, very small. Mm-hmm. So there's this road down there that it's literally one road between two bodies of water. And there's nothing separating the road from the water other than a couple of foot of rock.
Right.
So he gets down there and he's just, overtaken that he gets out the car and he takes off his shirt and he starts doing his yes dance in the middle of Cocodrie, and it's gold. Like when we saw that, we were all like, "Oh, like there's no words," right? So he does stuff like that, and then he went down in Mandalay. Mm-hmm. The Mandalay Wildlife Refuge is this beautiful 1 mile walking tour that we have. It's really a really cool way to submerge yourself in the swamp and have a little trail there. So he goes in there, and I had never even thought about it, but he starts making references of Dagobah from Star Wars.
Right,
and I'm like,
exactly.
He is so right. Like he nail on the head. Now, every time we go there, it's like impossible not to imagine, Star Wars down there.
Dagobah,
so
right.
Yeah, just hitting all of our little nerdy hearts. So.
That is awesome.
Yeah, he was great to work with. And then last year, we actually got him to come down again because we had so much fun with him the first go round. We had him come down and he did our Cache the Bayou event, which was a lot of fun. He brought his crew over. We got to see them experience eating hog head cheese and alligator sausage and all this fun stuff, eating alligator at an alligator farm. So it was really neat. It was just, they're great to work with. That I mean, I can't speak well enough of them. They're fantastic. Right. We love working with Josh and that crew.
That's so cool that he did those, because it really, I think, helped us connect with where you are in the world, because I think, you know, it's something that we don't all, I think, and I'll sort of soapbox a little bit here, and that is, if you live in the United States, even if you don't, but if you happen to, you need to get out and see different parts of the country, because every part of the country, not every part, there are many parts of the U.S. that are very different. You need to go to Colorado. You need to experience these parts of the world. You know, you need to go, you know, to Louisiana, for example, and you need to experience what is so different. It's of such a different part of the U.S. And so it's hard too when people are saying, "Oh, I want to come visit the U.S." It's like, where should you go? It's like, oh gosh, I don't know. You go everywhere. I mean, it's hard to do.
It's so different across the U.S., right? If you think about the difference between Louisiana, Colorado, New York, Seattle, I mean, that's hugely different. That's like different countries. So luckily our game can be played everywhere. So we're okay with it.
That's absolutely right.
So a couple of things about the first, and this is retired. We don't want to talk too much about phase one, although I think it was genius. We talked about this before the show started. It was very genius, I think, of you guys to have two phases to it, because you can retire a phase and your Geotour stays up and running.
Correct.
So that's
and not
a
only
great idea.
Right. It gives you some leeway with, you know, if you need to repair, revamp, refresh, if you want to go a new direction, you can still have cachers coming in and complete those things while, you know, still growing and working. And we've really tried to take into account all the feedback we got from phase one and phase two, so that phase one revamp is going to be even better. The other good thing from a caching standpoint, from a cacher's standpoint, is that you can make one trip and you're getting two separate coins. So it's like you get a little more bang for your, you know, your time. You're coming back with just more than one coin. And then of course we do events throughout the year. And when you do that, we tell people all the time, like last year, people who decided to come down here for Cache the Bayou, they were able to come down and come home with 3 coins because they got an event coin and then phase one and phase two. So it's just cool. Yeah, it's a lot of caching, but there's a big reward for it.
So what are the caches like on the current phase two of the tour? What kind of caches do you have?
Right now, phase two, it's typical. It's more of your traditional caches. There's no multis or anything of that nature. We kept it just kind of, we played with the difficulties a little bit. We played with the different types of containers, but it is all traditional. With phase one, it's going to change, the revamp, it's going to change a little bit. Now, phase two, the way the caches do differ is that we do have these puzzle birdhouse caches. So you are solving for, you know, you're doing a little bit of puzzle work on it and opening up these birdhouses, but we do have a mix of the birdhouses and the traditional caches for those.
That's cool. I guess you want to strike a balance, right? Because you want it to be entertaining enough, but not so hard that it'll stop somebody from being able to finish the tour while they're visiting town.
Exactly. And being that we are such a big parish and this tour is taking you from top to bottom, we wanted it to be doable. You know, we understand that people don't want to spend 4 and 5, 6 days working on one tour. So it's, you know, it takes about, depending on how experienced of a cacher you are, it typically takes 1 to 2 days. Some people 3, depending if they do both tours. And people, you know, they're able to knock it out with their families. And we made sure we had stuff that the kids could join in on, and, you know, the more experienced cachers still had fun with. So it's a really good balance of a little bit of everything.
Well, I think you've done, like you're saying, it's kind of cool in that I'm looking at the caches right now, and this is something I really liked about the Brenham the Brenham, Texas tour, which they revamped theirs, but they didn't have a phase 2. So I don't know how they pulled that off. But I noticed that they've archived all their phase, or not phase, archived
their original ones.
Their first Geotour and did another one. One thing I liked about what they did there, and what I'm thinking as you speak to my question that I'm getting to, and that is the Brenham one has caches in town, but it also takes you out of town. But it takes you, I think, a distance away that's not like too terribly bad. It's sort of like you want to get out of town a little bit and see things that maybe you would never have seen normally. I remember us going to a couple places that we'd actually been, because we're from Texas, but we got to do some areas that we just never would normally go to because we just normally wouldn't go there. But the tour brought us to that. And looking at I'm looking right now. In fact, let me do a screen share because I want to ask you, and I figured it'd be better to just not only ask you, but to actually show. So let me do this.
We are.
All right. So one thing I like, and this is the caches that are out there right now. What I liked about this is the fact that you're getting all the way down to, you're going all the way down to Cecils.
Yeah, that is actually a really cool place. Cecils is this really quirky little spot. It was a local hardware store for a long time. It still is. It's a running hardware store. But down there, he was kind of that far south in the parish. There's not a lot of there's no big name stores or anything like that. So his little place has just become this eclectic mix of the needs of the people there and the travelers that visit. It's just super cool. It's a really neat little place. That's the dockside. Yeah, covered in oyster shells. Yeah, and then if you look on there, they have Cecil's Garden. It's you can walk in the back of the building and actually sit outside along the bayou and look at people unloading their trawl boats and all this really cool folk art kind of thing. It's really neat. It's really cool. And this is the kind of places our tour takes you to.
Yeah. It's so cool. But I mean, like it's not a terrible distance, right? From the Visitor Bureau. But you're kind of in a whole different you're in a whole different sort of phase of the tour. So that's kind of cool.
Right. Yeah. So it takes you throughout Terrebonne Parish, and the thing about Terrebonne Parish itself is that the terrain is quite varying. So we have a variety of different marshland and wetlands. So when you drive from the north to the south, you're going through bayous, but then you're also going through swamps and canals and marshes, and then to the traditional coastal Gulf side and everything like that, where, and going through fishing communities and shrimping communities. So you really get to see in just a short drive, in less than an hour, if you do the whole loop, you can really see the difference of our unique layout. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Very cool. Oh, and I want to mention at this point too, we're giving away 2 coins. One, did I mention this earlier? I guess 1 coin we're giving away live. I forget what we talked about before the show and during the show. So I'm getting old. We're giving away one coin during the show and 1 coin on during the audio during the week. I think I did mention that. Oh well. Anyway, that'll be coming up here in a little bit. Anyway, so you're talking about the coins. I think it's really cool, and the gallery has some of the coins. It's really cool. So again, you got kind of a concentration of these actually in town, if you want to say that, and then you've got some that are sort of the outlier, which is kind of cool. You've got some that are all the way out. This one looks the farthest east.
Yep, that's Montague. Not Montegut.
Montague.
Montague. Yeah. That's a cool one, the Montague Reed. And some of these birdhouses or at libraries. So
neat.
Yeah, we go, and that's the thing. I saw the maintenance log. We try to keep them up very frequently. Anytime we see something flagged, we take care of that. But I go run my maintenance and do all that great stuff.
Yeah.
So are they outside the library so they can be even on the
Yes,
weekend?
they're all
Okay.
outside. Correct. We at this time we have none other than one. There's one located inside the visitor center, but everyone else is located outside where cashers can access it 24/7.
Oh, good.
What are the I'm gonna stop sharing now, but what are the visitor times? What are the for your
The visitor center is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then on Saturdays from 9 to 3. So cashers can come in on the weekends. Yeah.
Okay.
So they definitely want to get that one on Saturday, though. If they're planning their tour for the weekend, they want to make sure they get that one.
They want to make sure they're here on Saturday between 9:30 and 3:30 at the visitor center. Now, that one is a really cool one. So if you're going to do the tour, I would not miss out on the one inside the visitor center because it's pretty cool. We always got some neat stuff in there.
And you can download the because you're still doing passports. I mean, you're
right now we're still using the same passport. Phase 1 is deactivated, but you can still use that same passport for phase 2. However, when the revamp comes out, we will have a brand new passport unveiled. So
cool. And you could do either download it, or if you want to get a nicer one, you can go by the Visitors Bureau and pick one up there.
We'll have one here.
Very cool. So I guess if people have questions, one of the things that I think, and this is something I think would be cool to let people know, is because we talked about this before. So, Jesse and I saw you guys in Tyler because we were both at the Texas Challenge there. You were in Denton. You're at the Texas Challenge in Denton. But over the next little time here, Joni's going to be doing some major traveling, as she has been. So tell everybody where you're going to be very shortly, and then where you're going to be very shortly after that.
All right. So we are super excited, but we're going to actually be going to Seattle from the 28th through the 30th for Geocoin Fest. We are so pumped. It's my first Coin Fest. As well as Sandra. Sandra will be traveling with me for those of you guys who know her. Cool. We are excited. We're excited to go see headquarters. We're excited to just see how this thing goes. And we will absolutely be there. You guys need to stop by our table and come tell us hi. If you go, make sure, guys, if I'm going to Seattle and you're there, you have to come tell me hi. It's the only nice thing to do.
Well, especially if you heard about it during our show, I think that'd be cool if they came by and said, "Hey, I heard you on Geocache Talk." I think that would be neat. And then
that would be wonderful. Please, you know what? If you come to the table and say you heard about us being there through Geocache Talk, I'll throw in something special for those of you who come visit me and say that. And then after that, of course, we're going to be leaving straight from Geocoin Fest, and I'm going right on over to Rome, Georgia.
Just right down the street. They're so close.
Just right down the street. It's just a simple hop, skip, and a jump away.
Not by way of Houma. You're going you're going straight from Seattle to Georgia.
Yeah, thank God it's for 2 geocaching events that I can pack the same clothes. So for those of you who are doing both events, sorry, but I will be rocking the same outfits for a couple days. But I'm going straight from Seattle to Rome, Georgia for going caching. Another one I'm so excited about. I even have my, my card. I'm pumped. I can't tell you how pumped I was to get these this year. I don't know why. I felt like I needed this. And when I got it, I was extremely excited to have our white shirt boots.
Yeah, and Joni listened to our show last week where we talked about going caching. So it's kind of funny because we talked about the cards a little bit. And I got your own card. Obviously you planned ahead, but you got your own card. That's really cool. So
and we're also going to be. I finally got them in, but we got some pack tags in for Houma, so we'll be having those handy as well. Cool. But same thing at going caching. If you're going to going caching and you heard about us going there through this, just come to the table and tell me that, and I'll make sure you get something special for listening in.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, so we'll be going caching from October 3rd through the 7th we'll be there the whole duration. So we'll see you guys at the event and everything. Yeah.
And then as of now, and this is way in the future, but if you're planning on Geo Woodstock in Fort Worth being there?
Yes, yes, and that's another great thing. So we're definitely going to be at Woodstock again. Woodstock this year in Cincinnati was amazing. We had a great time. We had a great turnout. People really were excited to hear about the tour. But the really cool thing is, for those of you who are coming from, in particular around the east of, the East Coast and everything like that, you can actually get there through us. You can stop by, do our tour, go to Woodstock after, or hit us out on the way back. But perfect. Yeah, we are definitely going to be, we love our neighbors in Texas, so we're definitely going to go and support Woodstock there. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're not far at all. We were talking about before the show is that Susan and I want to make the trip down because we're just not that far, and that we love Geotours, and we love the different aspects of, because I think one thing and I've run across people who are like, well, I've never really done a geotour. I don't know, anything about them. And I always talk about the ones I've done because we've had such a great experience. And this is something I think people who are listening tonight or during the week who are kind of like, sounds great, but I'm not, and I understand, I guess, a geotour, but I think what people fail to sort of think about is, we've got tourism places in the world, and this one in Louisiana, that cater to geocachers. And so they've gone to the trouble of finding very cool places. And I think that really makes a big difference. And that's why it's worth doing a geotour, because like I mentioned before, if I were to come to Houma, I might be able to figure out some places to go, some out of the places like Cecils. I don't know if I'd have found Cecils.
No.
Electric Water Boys in the chat room, he mentioned that they spent quite a bit of time there at Cecils, but that is a great example. And you can, as you mentioned that one, but I think this is a great example of why people should do geotours. So,
well, geotours aren't just, like Joni said, they're not just random 30, hey, we have 30 caches, we'll give you a free coin if you go find 30 caches in our town. They took some time, and you're not going to know that coming from outside. You're picking the best places to take people to. So it's not just, I'll knock off 30 fast caches down one road and be done. You're going around town. There's specific reasons why you take people to those places, because y'all know the area.
And that's the other good thing. I mean, I know we kind of touched base on it earlier, but even if you're traveling with non-cachers, when you come to a geotour, in specific ours, you're seeing the places that even people who are not cachers would want to be a part of anyhow. So to me, it's a really good way to get the non-cacher still interacting with your caching parts of your family, because you can get the cache, but still have the experience all together as a family without having to be on two separate trips.
Right. I mean, I don't know why you would travel with non-cachers, but if you had to, I guess,
if you had to,
that is a good idea. Yeah.
What are some things that come to mind so let's say I am a caching family. A couple of us do geocaches, a couple of us don't. What are some things that we can kind of do? We can mix into the whole trip in Houma.
Right. So here, people are coming to Houma to have that quintessential bayou experience here. People are coming here for the food and the culture, the wildlife, the scenery, and there's tons of ways to do it. But, top of my head, things like, we do have the Mandalay Wildlife Refuge. It's a beautiful 1 mile walk through the swamp. It's a great way to be up close in front with nature. You'll walk. They do have 2 caches there. But you walk through the tour, at the end they have a big observation deck that you can walk through, and you're on the actual refuge. We have the swamp tour industry, actually, a little tidbit, the swamp tour industry actually originated here in Houma. So we have we're known for our swamp tours. So you can jump on an airplane, you can jump on an airboat, you can jump on a pontoon style boat, you can jump in a kayak and have that swamp tour experience. We have a wonderful gator farm, which if you came to Cache the Bayou last year, it was a big part of that. It's really unique to see. You can see the gators up close and personal. You can hold the babies. You can see them in the pit, the big ones. things like our Chauvin Sculpture Garden are these little hidden gems, right? So in this little fishing community called Chauvin, we have one of the world's top 12 sculpture gardens. It's a folk art garden. It's unlike anything you've ever seen. Really larger than life. It's very colorful and just really, really neat to see. So we're full of these little hidden gems. And then on Fridays, if you are planning to come here and you're planning a weekend trip, I will tell you to just make time in your schedule on Friday evenings at 6 o'clock Central. We have a local place called the Jolly Inn. The Jolly Inn is an old Cajun dance hall, and it's a local tradition that on Friday nights, all the locals and visitors all come together. You sit at these big picnic style tables. You can lunch on a po' boy or some jambalaya, some really good home cooked Cajun food. Live Cajun music's playing. It's all ages, so you can bring everything from the baby to your grandma. And there's live Cajun dancing. You can strap on, you know, the kids love to put on the washboard and go to town and be a part of the band. And it's a great time. So that's absolutely something I would say if you're planning on it, do not miss out on that experience as well. Yeah. And then of course, eating, like you can literally eat here for every meal for a week if you haven't eaten at all the restaurants. So yeah, awesome. For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
How has the feedback been after you did after phase one began, and now that you're down the road a little bit into this process, how has the local places that you've put caches, have you gotten some good feedback or good? So I think that's important for people to realize is that, you know, you put the caches out and the local community has sort of embraced it as far as you were mentioning.
Right. We do a lot of, we actually try to keep a good hand on the public with that. We've really done a good job of trying to educate our people in our area about geocaching, and also, excuse me, not just educate them about geocaching, but really try to get them involved and become active geocachers, because it is a big part of our destination here. And we want them to know, you know, if you see somebody looking around for something, this is what this is. And we've gotten a lot. I had a big Girl Scout troop come in recently to get their geocaching badge. And actually the day after, I started getting phone calls from moms saying, we are hooked and we are planning our next, you know, trip around caching, and we are looking to do more in Louisiana. And it's so exciting to see the public embracing it and our attractions and everyone else. But I tell you this, we do also work very close with hotels. Our hoteliers here actually offer a lot of our hoteliers here offer special geocaching rates, because they do recognize that our cachers are coming in to do this for a couple days. So yeah, I mean, Houma has embraced, when I tell you Houma has embraced geocaching, you know, our community is just so happy and proud to have this community here with us, with these geocachers. And if you've ever been to our events, I'm just saying, we get a lot of feedback that we roll out the red carpet for our cachers, and that's absolutely our goal. We have so much fun doing it, and we love to watch you guys interact in our area and enjoy our area through these caches. So yeah, we try to roll out the red carpet, and the community loves having you guys here. So we couldn't do it without y'all. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of events too, and we'll spend a lot of time on it, but I do want to mention that I have a link to the events, but you've got something called finding in fishing rodeos.
Yeah, we have fishing.
What the heck's the
good old Louisiana. Yeah, fishing rodeos. So we have fishing rodeos that go on throughout the year.
Fishing rodeo. I like that.
These avid anglers. Down here, we're kind of we're known for our fishing. I'm telling you, our lieutenant governor makes the joke. You might have fished anywhere, but you actually catch fish in Louisiana, especially down here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we have tons of these rodeos. So these anglers will come down, bring out their boats, launch out in the southernmost part of the parish, and compete to see who gets the biggest fish for money. So, wow. You know,
there you go.
It's a no lose game. You fish, you win money, you eat. Why not?
Right.
These rodeos are a big deal here. Yes.
Very cool. All right. Well, I'm going to ask the question here in a second.
The chat room was getting afraid that we were not going to do the question. So
those coins. We will not forget about the coin.
We won't forget you.
Do you want to show the first coin
Yeah.
Give
So
away
we're actually going to give away one of these babies. This is the Cache the Bayou shrimp boat coin from last year.
Very cool.
So front and back, I know we got a little glare going on, but
Okay,
that is the back,
good.
that is the front. We'll give that one away first.
Is that happening again this year?
Cache the Bayou this year is not. But you guys just keep an ear out, and we have some cool stuff coming for 2019. So.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yes.
Spoiler information. We got the exclusive.
There you go.
You heard it here first.
And we'll talk about the second one here in a minute. Of course, the second one is going to be for all listeners, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, we are going to give away our live one. That's for the live viewers. So if you're to guess, you're going to need to be in the chat room. So take a second. If you're not in the chat room, you can click on the link that's provided on Geocache Talk website, geocachetalk.com. Underneath there's a little link for the underneath where the show is. There's a link for the chat room.
And we decided to make this question a little harder because people get it too fast every week.
They do, and this
is a little harder.
And the thing is, there's a little bit of a delay. So when there's like a 7-second delay, kind of like in radio or TV or whatever. So when we give the question, there's actually a little bit of a delay. So, all right, here's the question. Jesse, you going to watch for a winner?
I will.
All right, cool. So the question
you can help me too, because this one's going to be a little harder of an answer. So
yeah, it is, but we'll keep an eye out for it. No, you only guess if you think you really do know the answer, and don't just throw stuff out there, because that's not going to be. We're not going to just give it to you if you start guessing
or do whatever
randomly. Yeah.
Or do it. Why not?
Or do it either way. We don't care.
We'll just make fun of you if it's wrong. No problem.
Right. There you go. So be careful. All right. Here's the question. How many square miles of wetlands can you find in Terrebonne Parish?
Good job, Karen.
Did I do that? Terrebonne? Terrebonne.
You did it.
She was going to do that in French, and but no. Okay. So, all right. We're listening for that. So while we're
might as well read the other question while we're waiting on those answers to come in.
Yeah.
The audio listeners.
For the audio listeners, this is one that you need to send me the answer to this next question before the
next show.
Yeah, before the next show. So you've got till midnight, September 22nd, 2018 to answer this question, and then I'll get the information to Joni, and she'll take care of you on that one. The second question's audio, and you want to send us an email for that. Oh, you want to show the coin too?
Yeah. And for that one, this is, now that this is retired, nobody is able to get these anymore, but this is the original tour #1's coin.
Oh, that's so cool. It's a great looking coin.
Yeah.
So you can't get those anymore. So that's
more anymore.
Even more exclusive. I love it. And the question for the audio one is, what is the GT code for Houma Geotour? And some people are like, what? It's not a GC code. It's a GT code. So there you go. There's the question. Email your answer to that question to geocachetalk@gmail.com. We will pick a winner. I'll get in touch with Joni, and we'll get you that coin sent out later on. So, all right. Do we have a winner for the first one yet?
We don't.
Okay, good.
There's a lot of interesting answers, and some of them are the same. So I'm not sure where they're getting their information from, but nobody has got. What happens if nobody gets it by the time we close the show?
Well, we're going to give a clue. We're going to give a hint here in a few minutes. I guess we could should we give the hint?
Let's give them a hint right now.
Give a hint.
Okay, go ahead, Joni. What's the hint we can give to help people find that answer?
So I'm pretty certain if you go to our website, which is www.houmatravel.com, you might be able to find it. It's HOUMA travel.com.
Yeah.
That will be more accurate than the Googles.
Yes.
The Google might be a little wonky.
We both said at the same time.
They checked it on a dry day. It's more on a wet.
That's right.
We might have had a couple extra 100, square feet.
That's
going
right.
by the Houma people, the Houma travel
Oh,
people.
there we go. Somebody got Stacy
Oh.
got it.
Stacy got it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Fantastic.
There you go. We got an answer.
Good job, Stacy.
We got a winner.
Very cool. So Stacy, yeah, everybody's getting it now. They must have got they got to the right page on the website. But
Google failed you all.
that's right.
It
Somebody
happens.
said stupid Wikipedia.
Dumb Wikipedia. Oh well, very good.
That's good though.
Yeah. All right. Good. So we got you that. Stacy will get your information. I think I already have it, but I'll get your information, and we'll get that to Joni, and we'll get you taken care of for that. So, all right. So, as we do normally, Joni, is we're going to go around the room, give everybody sort of a final chance to say what sort of final thoughts. But, so Jesse, was there anything else from the chat room?
Well, I think a lot of people are interested in going, and people expressed interest in the event that happened. That's not happening this year, but they're interested also in the news for 2019. And I think a lot of our people that are in the show are pretty educated about Geotours already.
Right.
But
They are.
I know several of them have this on their list, and this is on my list as well. I love that area. I've been through there before, and it's been a little while since I've been through there. But Geotours, really, the coolest thing about them is if you're going through an area and you don't know it, a Geotour is a good way to check out cool places. You know, you're always going to have those places you want to see, but you're going to miss several things without something like this, without the locals, pointing in the right direction. But so this is cool, and I look forward to going down and trying this at some point anyway. I looked it up while we were on the show, and it's 20-hour drive, so I might have to fly.
You might need to.
Come on down.
But if you fly, it's a lot of caches you miss on the way. So it's a toss-up either way, so I'm not sure.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. Think about all the counties you can catch on the way down. So, or parishes.
I know.
In Louisiana, they're parishes.
Correct. We're parishes.
That's right.
But very good, and thanks for coming on the show tonight. And as somebody said that you're a great representative or a great rep for Houma.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate
Very
that.
Cool. So, Joni, we're going to kind of give you sort of the last word. I'm going to do a little close to the show, but tell us, I guess, the closing, what you'd like to mention about Houma.
Yeah. So, you guys, we want you to know that, we value our geocachers here. We're working really hard to get revamped phase 1 more along the lines of what you guys have given us with your feedback. We're excited to do that. We're excited to show you what's coming. And 2019 is going to be a really big year for Houma. So I'm really looking forward to seeing those of you who plan or have us on your bucket list. Just keep an eye out for 2019, because I have a feeling that's the year you're going to come and hang out with us. So we hope to see you. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very
and
cool.
Don't forget, go see Joni at Point Fest. Go see her at Going Caching. Mention the show, and she might give you a little prize for doing that.
I'll have a little something special for you.
Swag, you gotta love getting some swags. That's awesome.
We have cool swag. So
that's right.
If you came to Woodstock, I've got cool swag. So
she's got the cool swag.
I got the good stuff.
That's good. That's awesome. So my final thought, I guess, is, and I've mentioned this before, is do a Geotour. Do this Geotour for sure. But Geotours have such a great we already got questions. Wow, we've got people answering that question already.
Well,
so that's good. Some people, and so far people are getting a good answer on that. So they're looking forward to that. Somebody mentioned it's 14-hour drive for me, but I wanted to get down there. That's Anthony. Eric's got the answer, and of course Stacy sent me her info, so that's good. So we're going good there. Definitely do Geotours. Do this Geotour for sure. If you want more, if you want to get even more excited, watch Joshua, the Geocaching Vloggers, whole 8. There's 8 videos to check out. I love watching that one because it really does give you even more information about Houma and why you need to pick Houma as your next Geotour spot. So, all right. Well, coming up on the show, next week we have Brian Roth. Brian was one of the first initial founders of geocaching, and he's going to come on. I asked him today even, I said, we want to ask you about the beginning. We want to ask you about was called Groundspeak. How did this whole thing begin? He goes, you bet, I'll answer all that. I go, but we also going to ask you about the future, so be prepared for that. And I didn't prep him yet and Jesse wants to ask a bunch of crazy questions about, and
no, I wouldn't
be mad. No, he wouldn't. No. But so we're going to talk about sort of the beginning and also the future a little bit. So I think we're going to cover a lot of cool things, but I really want Brian to kind of give us sort of a behind the scenes. How was this, what was it like the first, few days, the first few weeks, first few months of geocaching? What was the thought? How was it going in their mind as it began and all that? So we're going to talk about that next week. Week after, we're going to do a show called Geocaching Ethics, which I think is going to be fascinating. Jesse and I are going to talk about, do you sign a log if you weren't the finder? You were there, but you weren't the finder. What do you do as a team? What do you do about puzzles? If you're just the driver, do you get credit? We're going to talk about lots of different things like that. Do you, if you can't sign the log because the log is mush, what do you do? And what we think is the ethical thing to do in geocaching. So that's in 2 weeks, Geocaching Ethics. And in 3 weeks, we are going to do a show called How Not to Create a Multicache. Jesse and I have good experience of how not to create a multicache.
Oh, yeah, I can mess them up with the best of them.
So we're going to tell you about all the things not to do on that show. So that's in 3 weeks, show 119. So anyway, well, folks, we hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Email us your comments at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Geocache Talk, at Gary Slinkard, on Instagram, Geocache Talk, at Memphis Mafia, and Facebook at facebook.com/Geocache Talk. Before I go any further, Joni, what is I forgot to even mention, what email address would people use to contact for the travel for Houma?
You guys can send it to info at houmatravel.com, or you can also go on either the Houma Travel Facebook page or the Houma Travel Geotour Facebook page and send us a direct message, and we would be happy to help you.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate that. This show can be found, and all the other shows can be found audio-wise, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, as well as the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button below and click on the bell for notifications so that you will be reminded of when the show is on, and you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching. Go to the Houma Geotour. Say hi to Joni if she's there. She's not out of town. And do that Geotour. And then also, while you're there, go geocaching. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.